working on the grind, but now it's time for some fun. Leave it all behind. Gonna hit the track and rev those engines loud. With my buddies by my side, we'll make the crowd proud. Beers and gears, it's our kind of Friday night. Drinking and working on race cars, feeling all behind. Roaring engines and cold brews, that's our recipe. For a good time with my buddies, just wait and see. We've got our tools and our trusty old truck loaded up with cases of beer running amok. We'll tinker and tune, make those engines roar. With a cold one in hand, we'll even the score. Beers and gears, it's our kind of Friday night. Drinking and working on race cars, feeling all behind. Roaring engines and cold brews, that's our recipe. For a good time with my buddies, just wait and see. We've got our tools and our trusty old truck, loaded up with cases of beer running amok. We'll take her in tune, make those engines roar, roar. With a cold one in hand, we'll even the score. Beers and gears, it's our kind of Friday night.
And we're back with Beers and Gears, episode 21.
21.
I'm Blade.
I'm John. Yeah, Matt Christ here. So, why don't you let them know where you're from?
Darlington, born and raised in Darlington. Yeah, I got a family in Darlington, 3 kids, and a wife. I farm. I guess I run the racetrack.
Yeah, do a good job at it from my standpoint, anyway.
We try. It's been 13 years. This is our 13th year.
Yeah.
We try. I mean, we've had ups and downs, and I think we got it perfected pretty good.
The last probably 3 years have been awesome track, I think.
What was wrong with the fourth period? The one before.
I think the one time the water truck broke down. I think.
That was one time, yeah. The water truck broke.
And we had that bumpy track.
It was bumpy. That was one of my few bumpy ones. That's what we pride ourselves in Darlington. Honestly,
you hear it from everybody.
I'm a farmer. I grew up farming. You know, you got to know when to rake the hay, when to plant the corn, what's right, what's wrong, and that's the way dirt is.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the way I treat it. We take pride in it. I think that's the reason we have the cars we have. Mm-hmm. Let's not forget, I'm in a county of 16,000 people.
Yeah. I'm
not in a city of 60,000 like Dubuque. I'm in a county of 16,000.
Right.
And we're finding success. I think a lot of it has to do with the track itself.
I mean, every driver that is new that comes that I've talked to has said best track surface that they've had.
Like I said, we try.
Treated awesome too.
We try. I brought in 90 loads of clay 3 years ago.
Yep.
Jeez.
I'd love to bring in another 90, but we'll see what time brings. You know what I mean?
Just the last couple of years, you changed the banking over in one corner. And
actually, both corners.
Corners, that's right.
You know, you talk to some of the people that race back here. Well, Mike Garland ran into Mike there after his win the other night. He's like, "What did you do to this place? This place is awesome." And I'm like, "Well, Mike, it's been changed for 3 years now. You know, good to have you back." But we definitely put some more banking in it.
Yep.
Corner one still a little bit different, but that's what makes it special.
That's why people love it, because if you can get through there, you've done it, you know?
Yeah.
That's why the good ones love it.
Mm-hmm.
The good ones can get through there and they make it look easy.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
And that's where you see the distance start happening.
True statement. I haven't quite found that new whatever in my corner. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Bones has figured it out. Freiberger's figured it out. Robbins has figured that corner out.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? So, that's cool.
I love watching Bone and Jason. They can about figure it out. If somebody's on the bottom, they can go to the top and still make it work. They go to the bottom, make it work there too.
Jason put on a show the other night.
Oh, yes. Put distance on him and then brought it back to, like, what was it, like a half a cart to finish or something like that?
Yeah.
And it was for the lead, for the points.
Yeah. I mean, Bones, he's a special dude.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, he's a champion. I mean, he can get around there. He makes it look easy.
Any car, he can do anything.
Yeah, don't give him too much credit.
Well, maybe I should put him in my car and see what happens.
There you go. Yeah, you know what I mean?
He wouldn't be able to sit in my car. His head would be through the... That's the kind of hole
True
that
story.
can fit.
Yeah.
Which is funny because Dylan Cool owned my car before me. I didn't move the seat.
Oh, there's some legs.
So Chambers built it, and then Dylan bought it from him, and then I bought it from Dylan.
He's 2 feet taller than you.
Yeah. And I don't know how he did it. That was the blue and yellow Earnhardt paint scheme car.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
Yep. So what would you say was your first racing experience? Doesn't have to be driving. And what do you think? How old were you when you got into that?
We did some enduro stuff back when Garlington started rebuilding, in 2000, 2001. And when I say we did enduro stuff, most of the shit we had blown up before we got to town. Me and my brother we'd have it ruined before we got to town. So I only did a few. We never had much success. We always broke. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Then we bought our first. There was an old race car sitting up in Lancaster, had been running, I think. We bought a used race car, me and my brother, Trav, a limited stock. Put a motor in that, never even made it to town. It was junk. You know, finally we made it to town. I drove it the first night, got a flat tire. I know my brother Travis got the first win out of all of us.
Yeah.
But he was like, he raced got the first win, raced 3-4 nights. He's like, this is stupid. I ain't working on this shit. You know what I mean?
He got what he wanted out of it.
And then I just took it from there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We did limited stocks for a couple years. Then we got a good limited stock. I mean, we built a good one. We kind of dominated there for a while. Sold that. Then we bought Walrack's hobby stock.
Okay.
And that was a good piece. He won a lot of races with it. We won some races with it. I think we did that for a year or two. And then Walrack was getting out of modified, and B mods were coming in big time.
Yeah.
So we bought his modified, made it a B mod, and man, we killed it for 3 or 4 years there, or however long I did it. That was fun. You know what I mean? After that, we bought a modified, you know, and did that for a bunch of years. Did well. Then I got involved in this track about 13 years ago, and my racing successes kind of went to here. I just don't have the time. It is what it is. I still have the passion, I guess, but you know, I just don't have the time to put what it takes to be successful.
Right.
Truly in that class.
And
you know what I mean?
You were just in a limited late model the other night.
A shit box, or a school bus, or a toboggan. Those things are big, man. We bought that car. I'm trying to. The idea is to let people know we're serious about keeping that class.
Mm-hmm.
I bought a whole buyout on that thing. It's a nice piece. All I truly did was clean the carburetor and grease up some Heims.
Mm-hmm.
Started it. We even ran the fuel that was in the tank from 3 years ago. You know what I mean? It was half full. We put a little bit of, I think we put 7.5 gallons in it. And that's how we drove it. It definitely needs a little bit of setup. It don't turn.
Yeah.
But it will. You know what I mean? I think that class is a great class.
It's definitely fun to watch.
I mean, look at what those guys are doing up front.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't care what anybody says. It's the most affordable true racing class in motorsports. Let's just compare to Arlington. I can run that class cheaper than a sport mod, modified, hobby stock, or stock car. Now, you got your 4 cylinders. Some will call that a race class, a true race class.
Yeah.
Some won't, because it's a front-wheel drive class. But I think you can race a 4-banger in this class pretty close. The same price for what some of these guys are paying for this shit.
There's a lot of expensive parts in
You know
those
what I
cars
mean?
now.
So I'm hoping it sticks around. We've had some serious interest since I bought that car. There's a lot of interest has popped up. People have called, said, hey, you're going to seriously do that class? Well, that's our goal.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So we'll see what happens. Do I think we're going to be back to numbers of 15 or 20 ever again. I don't. Ultimately, I'd love to be back to 10.
Right.
Yeah.
You know.
So 6 or
Yeah,
whatever.
I think we had 8 the other night. In a perfect world would be 10. I know that doesn't sound like much, but perfect world would be 10.
Yeah.
It cleans off the track nice.
Makes it super wide. You
It
can run-
does.
you can run a lot
They
more.
widen that place out. So we'll see what happens.
And I always say 2 heat races. That's what I want. 2 heat races.
I agree.
Yeah,
I agree.
That's what we were struggling with earlier in the year. We were really close, and then now it's starting to be a two heat race thing.
Yeah. That's ultimately the goal. Like I said, people got to realize Lafayette County Speedway, look north. We don't have shit until you get to Oshkosh.
Yeah.
Beaver Dam's not there anymore.
Nope, they closed
You
down.
know,
Yeah.
wasn't too long ago, everybody's like, why can't you be more like Beaver Dam? You guys need to pay like Beaver Dam. You need to be more like Beaver Dam.
And they're-
Well, Beaver Dam's on $1 million property, and Beaver Dam's closed.
Yeah.
They're not closed. They're running 3 races
the
a year.
special race.
You know what I mean? So, back to my 16,000 people in Lafayette County.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we're doing a pretty good job of what we got. Ultimately, I'd love to have a little more. I consider Iowa. I mean, we all know what that is. That's racing capital.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But we don't have them around us. You know what I mean? So if we can be in that 70 to 80 cars a night, even honestly, not going to bullshit, if the racing's good, if we can be at 65 to 75 cars, that's a sweet spot for Darlington.
Mm-hmm.
Look at our mods. All year long, we've been right around 10. There's been 13 last week or 15. I don't know what it was, something like that. But our 10 mods, 11 mods that we can count on every week, there's no slouches in that
No.
show.
That's a
I mean,
great.
they put on, I mean, earlier this year when we had that guy roll in from whatever it was going to 141, we had 3 guys that were top 10 in the nation last year racing at our track
Yep.
in the mods. And we got Stams going for Rookie of the Year. So, I mean, you had 3 there and you had a guy going for Rookie of the Year. So don't tell me I got shitty mods.
No.
And don't tell me I got a shitty race with only 10 cars. You know what I mean?
I don't know how you could get a bad race out of there. I think every class has got a race.
Yeah. I mean, even you guys in the 4-cylinders, you guys last year, as a whole last year,
Mm-hmm.
you guys had some of the best races the whole year.
And
There were some
anybody
good
could
ones.
win back last year. Anybody could win this year if you really get going. But
How do you hold the foot to the floorboard? You win.
if I could drive, yeah.
Yeah.
And that's just it. It's pretty crazy. And then on top of that, to get the races done as quick as we do.
Well, that's another
and
thing.
to
I don't
you,
like
they might not be quick, but you watch races in the area. They're running until 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock at night.
All right, I'm going to give up my secret to our success. And not that I don't root for everybody else, because I do root for success, because, trust me, when a track closes, if there's 60 cars there, 30 of them are going to be done, for
Mhm.
sure.
Oh,
And in 2 years, out of that 30 that ain't done, only be 15 of them racing again.
Yep.
You know what I mean? But our success in the stands is simply, I believe,
Oh, that's great.
is because we strive ourselves at being done at 9:30 at night. Doesn't happen. The other night we had an extra class with the airs. I think we got done at 10:05, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Something like that. We had an extra class. It's beautiful out. We run the airs. We're still done at 10:10. We had that modified pile up.
yeah.
But besides that,
parking
most
lot.
nights we're done 9:25, 9:30,
Mhm.
and that's the key. We're getting people in and getting people out.
Yeah.
And that comes back to the guys we got working for us. They get it. I got 3 wreckers. I own the 3 wreckers.
Right.
Other tracks have 1 wrecker. It drives me nuts. That's a secret. I don't want to give out the secret. But you need more wreckers, and it's go time when there's a problem.
Oh, yeah.
Efficiency
They're
is the
quick
key.
to it too.
They are.
I'll watch-
Efficiency is the key to our success, I think.
I'll watch any races around and on TV with my parents, and I'll be sitting there. I'll be like, "Well, Darlington have that wreck cleaned up by now."
Yeah, exactly.
Which sometimes I don't know, but still.
No, I get it. I mean, and I don't think we disrespect people's stuff when it's
No.
wrecked. It's just, hey, we're here to put on a show.
Yeah.
You know, my claim to fame is everybody's watched Dances with Wolves once. They've never watched it twice because it's too goddamn long.
Yeah.
You know, good movie, but nobody's watched it twice. That's how I look at the races.
Yeah.
Dude, we got to put them in, get the butts in the stands, get them the hell out, and the goal is to have them here next week. If it lasts way too long, they're going to come once a month instead of 3 or 4 times a month.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, and when that big pile of car up happened there, you had a pile of scrap metal off the track looking than nothing, I'll tell you what. Guys were throwing springs off the track and whatnot. And there was that oil spill, too, but whatever that was.
That's one thing you don't hear a lot is a debris caution unless it comes off the car.
There was a whole bunch of stuff.
Yeah. I mean, but that goes back to our corner guys. I mean, if it's a piece of duct tape, I think they sense that and like, no, it's duct tape, man.
Yeah.
We know what it is.
It's not going to hurt the car or anything like that.
Yeah.
So, your number has changed quite a bit over the years, and people looking to watch you.
My number? My race car number?
Yep.
I've had me and my brother come up with the number 8. Actually, Trav did, because we had a Spot Tavern wanted it to be an 8 ball on the side of the car. So I'm like, why do we want to be 8, Red? To my brother, is obviously high school numbers, shit like that.
Yep.
He was 44, I was 42, so we had talked 43, we had talked 42. You know what I mean? Whatever, something in the middle. And he come up with his 8, and we never did get the sponsor money, but we've been 8 ever since.
Right. Other than you saw the 15 on the...
That was just the stickers on the door, man. We never touched that thing. Like I said, clean the carb, run the gas that was in it, and go to town.
Yeah, that's how you do it.
And who or what made you want to start? Was it just because it was there and you wanted to give it a go, or?
Went to a couple races in Darlington once they got going.
Yep.
Watched Todd Kemitzer had a hobby stock. He was down in Darlington a bunch. Not a hobby, a limited at the time they call it. It was big, man. We used to have B mains in that class. And, once we got one, I just took it from there.
Right. I think we've seen 1B main in the last 3 years or something like that.
Yeah, here and there.
I think when the hobby stocks first came back, then it was kind of a lot of cars that right away.
Yeah, I mean,
they want to.
It's expensive right now. Let's be honest. People aren't wired like they used to be.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
If you don't get a trophy, that's the way they've been wired for the last 10, 15 years. If you're not winning, just like in school, you're the 7th man on the basketball team, basketball's stupid.
Yeah.
If you're not starting on the football team, football's stupid, or I don't like the coach. That filters down into racing, too. Well, it's tough. Or I'm not winning. Well, you know what? Getting a 3rd place finish or a 5th place finish with some of the people you're running with is a succce.
That's
you know what I'm saying?
Right now. I was going to say, I didn't get the memo on that race. It must be pretty dumb that I don't win a lot at all.
But you know what I mean? You're very, very competitive. Yeah. So it is what it is. And you guys enjoy it. I watch your team. It's a family affair. You guys enjoy it. That's the key. And you keep drama out of it.
Yeah.
I don't see any drama coming out of your pits. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's the key, Put drama in it, makes it twice as hard.
I think the only time I've ever got in trouble was the night I got a little excited. I pulled in the pits. My trunk fell off. I yanked it up. They yanked it off. They said, go. I said, what did you say? I thought they said no or something like that. And then they said, go. And I hauled down the pits. You came and told me, don't ever do that again. I'm like, I'm sorry. My bad. Yep.
Yeah, I don't know what the answer is. I mean,
you can't be flying through there. There's families. And
no, I totally get it. And honestly, we're going to work on that this week. We had an incident last week. I don't know if I need to put a cop back there. I don't like the cops in general.
Yeah.
But honestly, if I truly patrol the length of our pits, I need 3 guys.
Yeah. It's impossible to see everything.
You know what I'm saying? I need 3 guys. Hey, you know what I mean? So I don't know the answer, but something has to be addressed. You know what I mean? Because we don't want anybody hurt.
No.
Too many kids in the pits. You know what I mean? So
if they're watching and out of in control, it's fine. They're running around.
Either way, we got to be more respectful.
Yes.
To each other, and when a car's rolling through there, they got to be going slow.
Yeah.
So,
like the only times I saw some bad is I literally watched the car launch himself into the pits, and we're like, yeah. And even the driver's like, whoops.
Yeah.
You can tell because they launched it, they landed, and they're like, ooh. Then they backed it down about 10 mile an hour.
Yeah.
Yeah, the only crazy part I've seen in the pit is when that driver got that mud thrown at him.
Oh yeah,
He
yeah.
spun out of there.
Luckily, there's like you said, their drama's pretty low.
We try to keep it low. I mean, we had some last week. It is what it is.
Oh yeah,
The shit's got to stop.
Yep.
I quite frankly don't have time for it. Racing's supposed to be fun.
Oh yeah.
We're not professional drivers. We're not professional race teams. But that doesn't mean we can't act a little more professional.
Exactly.
I see some teams, every time somebody drives by, they're flicking them off. It's like, come on, guys. So that's one of the negative spots of all the things we got going on, though. So we won't dwell on that, but we got to work on it.
It is what it is.
We're just thinking, Blaine, you keep bringing this stuff up. We're going to turn this into a drivers meeting here.
Yeah, no kidding.
I always love those.
And I hate doing the drivers meeting. I used to do it, and that's.
When you do, we know.
Yeah.
Honestly, you guys listen though.
Yeah.
So but I need to stay out of them. Whatever.
Yeah.
But Jason does just fine.
Yes,
He does a nice job. He does a great job flagging. I stay, as far as the whole racetrack thing goes, I stay out of most of the shit. That's Jason's deal. That's his corner, guys. I have all kinds of people call me. Red, what about? Hey, I'm not watching you guys' stuff.
Yeah. What
And I don't handle the corners. I don't. You ever notice I've never had a radio on down there? I hire people that can do the job. I put trust in them.
Exactly.
And if they're not doing the job, I'll let them know about it. We'll have our own little talk about it. And that's very seldom ever had to happen. But I can't be involved. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
My son races. I race occasionally. So I put it in the hands of people that do have control.
Right.
That way you don't got to worry about it so dang much.
So, what would be your favorite experience, you think? One that sticks out.
My favorite racing experience?
Mm-hmm.
There's a bunch of them, man. It all comes into, there's so many of them. My limited stock, I'm not kidding you. That thing was a good piece.
Mm-hmm.
I think we won, I don't know, 10, 12 times that summer. I could drive that car with one hand. That's that little era. And then I went to B-Mod. I ran my B-Mod. They used to have the 1,000 to win mod race in Darlington. I forget who was running the track at the time. I think I got third that day. Steve Wetter won it with his open mod.
Mm-hmm.
Me and Ronnie Barker, I had a 2-barrel on. Ronnie got second that day. We bought a brand new $1,100 carburetor, 4-barrel for that race. I went out there for the heat race or hot laps. Never raced with a 4-barrel. Spinning my tires.
Oh,
I pulled that 4-barrel off that car, put it in the trailer. My old buddy Paisley that helped us all the time.
Mm-hmm.
What are you doing? I said, I'm taking that piece of shit off. We're putting the 2-barrel back on so I can drive this thing.
yeah.
And we ended up getting third that day against Wetter and Barker. I mean, badass dudes.
Yeah.
And that was a 1,000 to win show, and there were some other hot dogs there. Let's see. When I was in that B-Mod, I was the fair one year.
There you go.
I won the Darlington Fair. There might have been 2 Wednesday night. No, it was just a one night in Darlington that year. We won Darlington. We won both the fair races in Dubuque. Hadn't been there all year long. And we won the Lancaster Fair.
Jeez, there you go.
So I was the fair that year in the B-Mod. Went to the mod racing. We won a bunch of races in the mod. I won a couple championships, whatever. Something like that. Me and both my brother Kurt, we both made the fast dash at Yankee one year. We were in the top 6. He had a B-Mod. I mean, we put the 4-barrel on out there that year for his car, but we were both in the fast dash. So besides that, you know what I mean? It's all just simple wins here and there that were big wins looking back. They're tougher to get than you think.
Right. Well, anyone's tough to really get unless I don't really know unless there's something there they can win.
Yeah, they're tougher to, and I still think they're tougher to get now.
Yeah.
I really do. Keep in mind when there's less cars, you get sorted out a little earlier.
Mm-hmm.
The cream gets there faster. There's less chance to be held up for some of those other cars. So if you are just a touch slower, it's easier for that badass to get to you sooner.
Yep.
Yeah.
Back in the day when you were starting 20 cars, you know, he might be back there farther.
It might
You
be
know
the
what I'm saying?
last lap pass for
Yeah, yeah, you know.
So, oh, he's up front.
You know, and a lot of people, that's another thing you might find crazy, but we're not running 7 or 8 lap heat races in Darlington. I don't even know what you guys run. What do you run, 4 or 5? You run 4? Sure, it'd be nice if you ran 5 or 6. I get it. But our goal is to keep the heat races down, keeps a better surface for the feature.
Yep.
I mean, heat races ain't paying nothing.
Nope. No points, no money.
If I run a 7 or 8 lap feature or heat race, a lot of times in the mods or the sport mods, same guys are going to win the heat race every time.
Oh, yeah.
So we keep them down, and hey, we got different winners in our heat races all the time. And a lot of reasons it's down a lap or two. You know what I mean?
Well,
But that also speeds up the program.
Exactly.
exactly.
And like you said,
You know?
we're getting it done pretty quick.
Yeah.
Amen. Yeah.
And so there's been times where you're like, we could run a couple more laps. Nope. I'm
Yep.
fine with just barely getting the one
Yeah.
more lap. And
Yeah,
I'm
shoot. With the in-cam, we got 5 minutes for the heats there.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, quick. Nice,
Awesome.
Nice
I
and
told
easy.
everybody I do 15 minutes of driving at Darlington every night. And I add up the videos. I'm pretty freaking close to 15 minutes.
Yep.
Yeah.
in a
That's
night.
good.
Shoot your
10-minute features if there's a caution. Like, I think it's been 7-minute features most nights.
Is that what it is?
Yeah. And then the 5 minutes and then like 2 minutes for hot laps.
Cool.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's been an absolute. And I like you. Something popped into my head when you were talking about having a smaller carburetor and all that stuff. I remember, and again, we'll have to have Jason on here for him to actually tell the story. But Eric Bowe told me he was running his sport mod against the mods one night, or late model against real late models one night.
Yep.
And he had less power, and then all the big guys were spinning tires.
Oh, it's
He almost won the race
a
because
lot of truth to that.
Oh,
yeah. Yeah. I mean,
he had
got to hook
traction.
it up. Got to hook it up.
Yeah.
And then the IMCA rule became a thing. You can't run two classes.
Yeah.
But I remember Bone paying people to run with the mods so he could get more points. Or that was a rumor.
Is
I
that
don't know.
true?
If it
I don't know
actually
if any of that was
happened.
true. I don't know.
I don't know if that was.
I don't
It was
know
a
if
good
that's
story.
true.
It was a good story. Like, hey, y'all run with us.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people.
And that
hopped in.
sucks too. It's kind of unfair because I think it's 10 or 12 cars you need when you're running for national points. Otherwise, you could get first, but if you're 1 car short, you're getting second. It kind of sucks, you know, because the level of competition that we may have, or Makoka had that one year, you know, that's the key. You know what I mean? They had some badasses running with them.
Yep.
Might have been a car or 2 short, but that doesn't mean it was easier for them.
Yeah.
You know?
That's a interesting track going from Darlington to down there. Oh.
Oh,
Yeah, it's different.
Well, my first experience down there was the first dirt nationals that was down there. I literally was taking hot laps and I wound it up, and the horse track is what connects you onto the track.
Oh,
Well,
You didn't go straight, did you?
I about did. I was looking down the straight stretch because it looks like it goes straight, and then you look over and right about the hump, I hop back on the track.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
I love that he could see that coming. He didn't go straight. Like,
Yeah,
about did.
Yeah, you about did. All right.
And that track used to be a half mile. Darlington used to be a half mile.
Lancaster, believe it or not, was a half mile one time.
So that's probably, so what did they do? Rebuild it in like 97?
Whatever, yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
I was having a conversation with my mom. Charlie Spry posted a picture opening night.
Oh, really?
First race ever flyer, Lancaster.
Oh, sure.
My mom's like, well, it was always there. I don't know what you're talking about. And
The
that must be what it
JCs
was.
used to run Darlington's half mile. You know what
Yep.
a half mile is, right?
Yep.
The banking out there.
I
Most
love
people
that.
don't realize that, but that is the old half mile banking when those cars park up there, those trucks. That is the half mile.
I love it. That's the history of the track. I love seeing it because it's all the way down in the pits. You can see where the banking is there, where we go to turn around, get into
Oh, yeah.
staging.
Yeah.
And then out in the parking lot, you can see where that comes off. My dad's cousin, Orville Spore, used to run there, and he told stories of it was a case of beer for the first one in the river and all that
Oh.
stuff.
We were just talking about the other night, Tom Swartz from Darlington. I don't know if he's ever bumped in your pits, but used to work at Virtues, Ingstead's forever.
Okay.
He was in the pits the other night bullshitting. Ronnie Barker, we were talking. Ronnie's dad was there that night. Tom was in the crowd, you know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
They were talking, I think it was a 69 or 70 that accident happen. God forbid we ever have anything like that again.
I just wanna race my race in it. Yeah. Ain't nothing like it in the world. What's one race?
Hey guys, don't forget to like
Comment
and subscribe
to the Beers and Gears podcast.
Come on, people!
Lots of full of turns. Get that flag stand on that roof.